Welcome to the Golden Hour, a content series from us here at the Horizon League. Why the Golden Hour? Well, we won't take up a full hour of your time, but it refers to the meeting point between the earth and the sky and where the student meets the athlete. On today's episode, we talk to RMU softball coach Jexx Varner, get a recap on last season's first championship for the Colonials, and more about his coaching career. Thanks for joining us. Hi, I'm Rachel White here with another edition of our Golden Hour podcast, joined this time by
Jexx Varner, head coach at Robert Morris.
We're going to talk with Jexx, get to know him a little bit better, and talk about his work as a softball coach at Robert Morris. So first question, talk just a little bit about your background and maybe kind of your path to your current position.
Well, I mean, I started my coaching career at Robert Morris. I actually had got my undergrad, my master's at Robert Morris, and started as a GA there. That is back in 2007, not to date myself, and went to Ashland University for a year, and then was at Kent State for 3 years before I was head coach at Lafayette College out in Easton, Pennsylvania for 4 years, and then got the opportunity to come home, and have been here since 2017.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Colonial through and through.
Through and through.
I love that. That's great. What do you love most about the game of softball?
Oh man, that's a great one. There are so many things. Obviously, as a male, I grew up playing baseball a lot, but the speed of the game is just absolutely unmatched. The energy of the game is so fantastic. The women that are involved in the sport are just unbelievable, and it's such a giving and loving environment to generations of ball players. And I have a younger daughter that's also playing right now, and kind of that connection that you build with young women and young girls as they start to come up. There really just isn't, again, I might be biased, but I should be.
Of course, yeah.
And it's a really, the energy, the speed, the passion and love for the sport, and that look beyond just the here and now, that think about the future, I think is something that's really unmatched in our sport.
Talking about the future a little bit, kind of on the flip side,
Okay.
There was maybe one thing you could change or improve about softball and the sport moving forward. Is there anything that comes to mind there?
Oh, that's another good one. I think that we are in such a great trajectory right now as a sport, and what the NFCA, our Coaches Association, has done to help build our sport, what are the ambassadors of our the programs across the country are here to build the sport. I think continuing to do that and understanding our reaches at the grassroots level and really helping build our youth games into something that creates the love that they need, the learning that they need, obviously, for the sport, but the true enjoyment of the sport. Because I think at times for young girls that can be pretty overwhelming and pretty intense. And I think that the more that we do as coaches and as athletes to reach those younger generations, the more this sport continues to build. We're doing great things in media and television and our growth of our professional league and things like that. But I think we need to make sure we get back down to the grassroots and help build that love and passion for our sport so that we continue to grow numbers and all the things exponentially as we continue to grow.
Makes a lot of sense. Where else to start but the beginning?
Right.
Exactly. When did you know you wanted to get into coaching, and what was it about that profession that kind of drew you in?
I think I probably knew at some point during my undergrad that coaching was what I wanted to do. I think I spent a little bit of time in my college career thinking about administration, athletics, or high school or something, but realized that coaching and the connection that you build with your athletes and the growth and the teaching that you do within your sport that goes far beyond your sport, what the life lessons that you learn.
Yeah.
And in the end, like, I get to call this my job. Like I spend, even in the grind of the summer, I spend 10 to 12 hours a day at the field watching ball, but that's my job. It's not anything else. And it's a pretty amazing thing to say that that's what I get to do. My career is a game, and it's then using that game to build life skills. And that was something, again, at some point I was like, this is what I need to be doing. This is what I love about sports in general, and how I can impact other people moving forward.
Yeah, you mentioned several, but what is maybe you say like your favorite thing about being a coach?
Right now, it is the connection that my team, my young women, have with my family.
Yeah.
I think watching my little boy, I said this at a different point, but like watching my little boy start to connect baseball players and baseball events with my team, with my women, and what happened in our games. I think it's a really cool thing that that young boy to male, it's a different dynamic, I think, than is traditional. And then also watching my 8-year-old daughter and her connection to our team and the seniors, and when they're over for class dinners, and watching my children come out of their shells and become such more energetic and more open and social beings. That's such a cool dynamic that as a father, I always wanted that kind of connection, but within the last few years, it's something that, man, it's so rewarding. It's such a cool thing. And seeing them in the dugout or at the dugout and high fives and all those things, the family connection is such a fun thing.
That's really awesome. And it's so rare. Like, in how many other industries would you have that kind of situation where your young children are exposed to student athletes doing really cool things in college? So that's awesome.
Well, and just even connected to your job in general. Like, it is such a separate 9 to 5. It can be this corporate world like that. And we're living in an environment and coaching in an environment that you get to change that dynamic a little bit. And it's such a cool thing for them.
Very cool. Speaking of on the field, you guys obviously had a very successful season, won your first Horizon League championship. Talk about what that experience was like for you.
It was just unbelievable. The entire season, the run, and I said this in my interview immediately after the championship, of just, it also brings back some of the road that got you to here, the process, and the young women that are alums that are in our program that led to this, some of the trials and tribulations that we have gone through. But it was just such a fulfilling moment to know that all the work that we've put in for years has come to fruition, and all the trials that we went through in that season, or maybe in that game or in that weekend, have led to such great growth moments, not only for them as athletes, but as young women. It was just unbelievable. And then after winning from that moment, from the championship ceremony through selection Sunday, through the regional and practice day, it was the uninhibited joy of our team in that moment and in that space that I will never forget. And I think that they will never forget as well. That even thinking back now just brings a smile to my face. It's such a cool thing for all of us. And I'm so appreciative of everything and everyone that helped us get to that moment of absolute joy.
You mentioned the NCAA tournament a lot. We talk a lot about major experiences here in the league, and what a cool experience that is when our teams are able to make it to that next level on the national stage. You talk too about maybe that experience and what you kind of learned from that.
Yeah, I think that some of those experiences that we create within our conference or within our scheduling and trying to create those big moments, that student athlete experience from our perspective, when we went to, from our their freshman year, they went to University of Washington and Oregon State and those big things that they did. And then we're going to the Alabama, and then we're going to Virginia Techs and doing these big moments, playing those P4 schools and having success against them. And those kind of major experience, their experience and the confidence that builds within them through knowing they can do hard things, and to use the social media term, like to have a major impact, a major experience on them beyond that, is because of the platform that we have continued to give them. And that's such a cool thing for them to take with them moving forward.
Right, which is really what we're doing here, right?
Yes.
We're trying to give them a great experience, but
exactly.
also help them once they leave to have some
Yes.
great experiences and great skills they can take with them.
Yes.
Outside of kind of NCAA tournament, cool trips, what's your favorite thing about competing within the Horizon League?
In my coaching career, the way that the game has changed also, and the travel is, from our experience, we might still be the furthest east school in the conference.
Right.
But it is a very reasonable travel schedule.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that we get to come to cool places and come to Indy and go up to Detroit and the Cincinnati area and going NIU when they join, going to Chicago and Green Bay, and we get some really cool experiences. And I think it's a group of great coaches in our league that has a really great connections and relationships, but it's all very reasonable travel that allows us to let them do some pretty cool things on the field, but also get home and do the things they need to do in the classroom and maybe find that family time as well that hasn't monopolized their entire lives. Sure. And I think that's a really important thing as we balance what we do and what we can give them.
Definitely. Okay, one final question for you.
Okay.
I don't know if you've watched many Golden Hour episodes, but we always like to end with a start, bench, cut. So we give you kind of 3 items, and then you sort of rank them. So we're giving you kind of like a tailored softball coach category here. Games, traveling, practice. So start, bench, cut from your perspective, kind of how you enjoy those 3 aspects of your job.
Oh, man.
It's tough.
See, so I will start from the bottom.
Okay.
With the cut. I would say travel, and I enjoy traveling. Sure. I have no issues whatsoever with traveling. Obviously, as a father with 2 kids, that would be maybe the thing that, not maybe, that would be the thing I would cut because I can spend more time with my family.
Of course.
Bench, I would say practice.
Okay.
And start, I would say games. And it's, I think, ultimately because I think that's one of our goals is games should be fun. And it is, there's no learning experience like the game itself.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can ever give that away. And just, again, going out there and having fun and enjoying the game and the competitiveness of that. Sometimes that can get challenging to create in a practice.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be why it's the bench player and not the starter.
Understood.
But I like that question. That's fun.
Yeah, perfect. Well, thank you so much. Once again, I'm Rachel White here with
Jexx Varner.
Thank you for watching. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Golden Hour. Be sure to follow us at Horizon League on social media to keep up with the latest news. We hope you make a major impact.